All right, we are live. Welcome to the week 9 of the General Wealth Management High School Extra Point Show with your host, JB Graphics, Jared Bakaisa, whatever you want to go with for this week and week 9. Let's start off with a special shout out to all of our sponsors that help bring this show for now 9 weeks. We got to thank Generational Wealth Management, and we're going to play some of the ads to start off.
Whether retirement is just around the corner or years away, John Bongiovanni, Lucas Slazak, and Adam Jack of Generational Wealth Management in Erie and Bradford are here for you. John, a Forbes-recognized best-in-state wealth advisor, Lucas and Adam provide customized investment advisory solutions and retirement planning services. Generational Wealth Management offers world-class investment services and internationally recognized insurance products from Northwestern Mutual, an industry leader. The Generational Wealth Management team provides a high level of expertise and service to their professional and business clients. Contact the Erie office at 814-651-0838 or the Bradford office at 814-368-4065 or check them out online at gwm.nm.com.
What's the recipe for surprising the kids, treating yourself, and ditching dish duty? You're looking at it. Order your Pizza Hut faves like original pan, original stuffed crust, and more at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
All right, there's our 3 big sponsors that help bring you the Extra Point Show. We got Generational Wealth Management, John Bongiovanni, Lucas Slazak, and Adam Jack of Generational Wealth Management in Erie and Bradford are here for your investment needs. They offer world-class investment services and internationally recognized insurance products from Northwestern Mutual, an industry leader. Find out more at gwm.nm.com. Also got to thank Warren County Visitors Bureau, Pennsylvania's all-season destination. Warren County, pure, simple, pure, real. And we'll also shout out Pizza Hut of Clearfield, Clarion, Brookville, DuBois, St. Mary's, and Grove City. So now that we got our ads played, we have a lot of finals, it looks like. I think the only one that's not final is the Union AC Valley at Ridgeway game, which is currently at 14-6 with Union AC Valley leading. If anyone has a score update on that, please feel free to share with us. But we had a game last night, Thursday night football. We had Punxsutawney beating Brookville 21-13. After we read all the scores, I'll kind of get into that game until we can get some players on here. But we'll start off with some District 9 action. We got Mount Union 43, Kerwinsville 34, DuBois 42, Montauk 0, Kane 26, Smethport 12, Port Allegheny 20, Keystone 10, Karn City 42, Bradford 14, Union AC Valley 14, Ridgeway 6, I said that already, Red Bank Valley 34, Brockway 28, Cameron County 28, Otto Eldred 22. That game went to overtime. Central Clarion 48, St. Mary's 27, Clearfield 21, Central Mountains 6. Coudersport is up 55-6 over Bucktail, and that is still in the fourth quarter, it says. Moving on to our District 10 games, we got Cambridge Springs 32, Mercer 22, Cathedral Prep 44, Erie 0, Maplewood 22, Cochranton 18, Reynolds 42, Lakeview 14, Eisenhower 48, Iroquois 6, Mercyhurst Prep 44, Union City 0, Seneca 34, Northwestern 26, Farrell 41, Slippery Rock 0, Sharon 47, Greenville 6, Grove City 35, Wilmington 6, Sharpsville 28, Hickory 21, Conneaut 14, Franklin 10, Meadville 76, Warren 7, Oil City 30, Titusville 14, Fort LaBeouf 28, Corey 6, Fairview 31, Northeast 30, Conneaut, Ohio 13, Harbor Creek 6, McDowell 48, Butler 24. And our games for Saturday in District 9, we have Elk County Catholic at Sheffield, and in District 10, we have Sagertown at Kennedy Catholic. Also, General McLean at Girard. So those are our 2 District 10 games that are being played tomorrow, and as well as that 1 District 9 game we have. So looks like most of them are final. You can check out the scores on d910sports.com and find the Pizza Hut District 9 and 10 football live scoreboard for Week 9, 2022. And that's it for our scores for right now. We'll kind of get into the game that happened yesterday, which was the Punxsutawney Brookville game. I'm going to go find the recap, and we can kind of go over that game a little bit together. Let's find it. If anyone who's watching, you can also go on to d910sports.com, and there should be a recap from last night's game. I just got to find out where it is. Give me a minute. There it is. All right, so Punxsutawney secured its first Route 36 trophy since 2018. So the Route 36 trophy is definitely a big deal for Brookville and Punxsy, and with it being played on Thursday night, we actually have something a little bit to talk about before we get some guests on. I'm hoping Andy, Chris, or Brian, or whoever hop on here soon, but I'll just read the recap that they wrote here. So, for the first time since 2018, the Route 36 trophy will reside on the southern end of Jefferson County after Punxsutawney went on the road and held off Brookville for a 21-13 win Thursday night. The Chucks, who are now 5-4, led 14-0 following a 12-yard Seth Moore to Noah Weaver touchdown pass with 3:18 to play in the third before Brookville came storming back. Just a minute 38 after the Weaver touchdown, Noah Peterson and Braden Kunzelman combined for a 66-yard touchdown pass, with Kunzelman finding the end zone to make it 14-7. Then, midway through the fourth quarter, Kunzelman scored again on an 8-yard toss from Peterson to get the Raiders, who are now 4-5, to within 1 point, 14-13. But on the extra point, Brookville was whistled for having 12 players on the field before it could even snap the ball. Pushed back 5 yards, Kunzelman extra point came up short. The Raiders did get the ball back just inside their own 20-yard line with 2:23 to play following a Punxsutawney punt. Near disaster struck on first down when Sam Krug fumbled the ball after a short completion from Peterson, only to have an alert Peterson, who was trailing the play, fall on the ball at the 21-yard line. On the second down, Punxsutawney's Mason Nesbitt was called for holding Brookville's Krug as Peterson was sacked. Nesbitt actually didn't hold Krug, but instead pushed him over. Either way, with 1:47 on the clock, the Raiders should have been given the option to either have the clock continue to run after the 10-yard mark off or have the clock start on the snap under NFHS Rule 3-4, Article 7, which states, when a foul is committed with less than 2 minutes remaining in either half, the offended team will have the option to start the game clock on the snap. But the referee mistakenly ran the clock and 18 seconds ran off before Brookville snapped the ball, a play that ended in Peterson being sacked at the 20-yard line. Brookville head coach Scott Park then started to argue with the officials that the clock should have been stopped, or at least they should have given him the option to stop the clock, before the previous play was run. According to Rich Rhodes, sports editor at the Jefferson Democrat, the referee acknowledged that he messed up but couldn't do anything about it. Then, we got Chris on. I'll see if Chris wants to. Nope, we got Chris. What's up,
Hey,
Chris?
Jared. I'm in the process of trying to get you somebody from that Cameron County game. So give me a moment here, and I might have you somebody from the Cameron County game.
Awesome. Yeah, I was just reading about the Punxsutawney Brookville game that happened last night, with Punxsutawney getting the Route 36 trophy for the first time since 2018.
Yeah, again, Brookville's twice been bitten now late game referees screwing up the new rule where the clock could stop situations. And
were you at that game last night, or
I was not.
Okay.
But actually, I was watching it when it happened, though. It was funny.
Mhm.
I actually tuned it in, and at the time where it happened, I immediately I was with Andy Close at the time, and I said to him, I'm like, Andy, that's supposed to that clock's supposed to stop there,
Mhm.
and it just didn't. And I mean, what can you say?
Yeah.
It just
Was there a reason that the game was played on a Thursday, or was that?
Yeah, it goes back to like there are weeks where there aren't enough officials, and this just
Mhm.
happened to be one of those weeks where they um had a game that got moved to a Thursday, and then funny thing happens is you'd at least hope that you'd get the best refereeing crew, and in this case they just didn't. It just didn't end up that way.
Mhm.
Um, those things I guess happen.
Yeah.
But I I saw another good one tonight, Jared. I
Yeah, what
apologize. I can't get the lighting correct here for me, but
oh, you need to get one of those, cameras that have, like, the adjustable lighting on it,
yeah,
which
I'm just using the
oh,
computer camera right now, though. That's the
I got you. Well, if you go on to Amazon, you could probably find one for, $30 and 30-ish dollars to get a good quality one.
the so I work on my microphone here too. Um,
Yeah,
it
you were at the
yeah,
Port game,
I
right?
was at the Port Keystone game, and here we got Jamison Britton coming on here for
Alright.
we'll see if these guys are sideways though.
Up now we go.
There we go. All right. So we got him in here. So
Hey,
hi guys. Who do we all have here with us from Cameron County?
I'm Jameson Burton. I'm Ian Smith. I'm Jake Narby.
Number 17. I did you catch his name there, Jared?
what was it? Jake?
Jake Narby.
Oh,
Jake,
thanks,
okay.
Jake. Guys,
Yeah.
got to talk a little louder so everybody can hear you. Use your outdoor voices like you're like the opposing team is trying to keep the opposing team's fans are trying to keep you guys from calling your signals. So, but what a great win for you guys tonight! Overtime victory over Otto Eldred tonight, and your football team's playing really well right now. After a slow start to the season, things have started to trend in the right direction for you guys. What do you attribute that to?
I think the team chemistry and the teamwork over the weeks have increased a lot. The O-line has finally came together. We've been doing very good. We got freshmen who are stepping up and new players like Jake right here getting interceptions, closing games out.
Talk a little bit about overtime and how that went. A lot of people obviously didn't get to see it, so why don't you guys kind of walk us through what happened in overtime there?
At the start, I had no idea what I was doing. We went out there to flip the coin, did the coin toss. They decided to be on defense first. We run our first play. We got in the end zone. We couldn't get the 2-point conversion. But then when it was their chance for offense, we got an interception right off the start and ended the game there.
Talk about who scored the touchdown for you guys in overtime.
Maddox Bachman.
Talk a little bit about the play and what you guys saw from your positions.
From my perspective on the offensive line, I was just blocking my guy going second level. I saw running backs coming from the edge. Maddox still running for the edge of the end zone, and he was in.
And then who had the game-sealing interception?
Jake Narby.
Jake, talk a little bit about what happened there. To just walk us through the play, what you saw.
When the play first started, I noticed that the quarterback was looking towards the right side of the field. So I brought myself over there. I saw the ball go up, and I set myself underneath it. Brought it home.
Talk about what that kind of feeling is like. What are you feeling at that point in time?
It's crazy. It's almost like you're not even there. Just everything's just going by, and it's just a wonderful feeling.
This is you got a fairly young football team still. What does this kind of run do for you guys moving forward?
It helps us a lot. We're going to be prepared and very experienced for the upcoming years after.
just anybody you guys want to shout out to right now? I know that's the thing Jared likes to do. Anybody you guys want to shout out to here?
Malachi Zupo, our tailback. He's a freshman. He's been doing very good this year. He's been getting the majority of the carries and getting a lot of yards. He had 209 yards this game.
Oh my! Wow, that's a heck of a game for a freshman. That's going to put your name on the short list for Rookie of the Year consideration, isn't it?
Facts.
Well, guys, hey, really appreciate you jumping on with us, joining us here on the Generational Wealth Management post-game show, and congratulations on a big overtime win.
Yep, congrats, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It must have been a heck of a football game. I know from the auto perspective, they lost quarterback Andrew Scheinfeld to an injury in the third quarter there, Jared, and they were really down to their third string quarterback because their backup already was hurt, and then the third string guy got hurt, and they were their fourth string quarterback. There's not an NFL team out there that's working with their fourth string quarterback.
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? Give Cameron County credit. They came to play and they come out with another big win, and they're kind of on a roll right now.
Yeah, that's 2 weeks in a row they've beaten teams with winning records, beating out County Catholic last week, and now Otto Eldridge this week. So they're definitely finishing the season out strong up in Emporium.
Oh yeah, no question, and it's a football program that has a lot of pride and a lot of history to it, and I'm sure they weren't real happy when things didn't start out the way they wanted them to this year, but obviously they ended in a much better way than they started, and it's
moving forward to next year too. Like finishing out the season like this is definitely going to give the program some hype. Like the coach can tell the kids, like, hey, look what we did at the end of the season. Let's start the season off strong, and then
their season's not over yet. They've got Brockway next week, and they're 4-5 now, and you might talk about it, but I mean, you get to 5-5, and the committee's picking who goes to the playoffs, and if you beat Brockway next week and you've got wins over Otto and Elk, all of a sudden the Red Raiders might have a case to be made if they can pull the upset next week. Wouldn't you think so?
Yeah, I think so, especially with if you're looking at the old PowerPoint system too. Brockway's beaten some good teams this year, and if you have Cameron County up there over Brockway, that definitely puts the committee in a little pickle there with all these teams that are kind of going to have the same record or close to the record.
Yeah, I think we know who the teams at the top are, but some of those teams starting to see, I don't think it's too early to start talking about how the seeding might play out, and again, committee seeding this year for the first time, and it's got some interesting things to it, I think, at the end of the day, of how do you separate Elk from Otto, from Cowdy, from
Union, Keystone.
Yeah, all those schools in there. I think right now Port's got to be number one, right? I mean, I don't think anybody can argue at this point that Port Allegheny is the as long as they take care of business and beat Otto Eldred next week, they're the number one seed. After that, Red Bank, I think, solidified number 2 tonight.
Yeah.
By beating Brockway. I don't think there's really an argument there. But then after that, who's number 3? Is it Keystone? Is it Union AC? Is it Brockway? I don't know who number 3 is. And so if I don't know who number 3 is, how do I go from there into number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8?
Yeah.
I know who the top 2 teams are. After that, I don't know where it goes. I mean, you could look at Brockway and say, well, they played Red Bank tight tonight. And, you could look at Keystone and say, hey, they had a chance to beat Port Allegheny tonight. They were up 10-8 with 5 minutes to play. But, at the end of the day, neither of those teams got it done. And it's a results-oriented business at the end. So I don't know how it goes out after those top 2 seeds. It'll be an interesting, I think it'll be an interesting look at it. Hey, do we want to take a commercial here, Jared?
Yeah, let's go on a quick commercial break here, and I'll read the scores off again for anyone who's just tuning in since we're at the 20-minute mark. But let's start off with our favorite sponsor, Generational Wealth Management.
Whether retirement is just around the corner or years away, John Bongiovanni, Lucas Slazak, and Adam Jack of Generational Wealth Management in Erie and Bradford are here for you. John, a Forbes-recognized best-in-state wealth advisor, Lucas and Adam provide customized investment advisory solutions and retirement planning services. Generational Wealth Management offers world-class investment services and internationally recognized insurance products from Northwestern Mutual, an industry leader. The Generational Wealth Management team provides a high level of expertise and service to their professional and business clients. Contact the Erie office at 814-651-0838 or the Bradford office at 814-368-4065 or check them out online at gwm.nm.com.
What's the recipe for surprising the kids, treating yourself, and ditching dish duty? You're looking at it. Order your Pizza Hut faves like original pan, original stuffed crust, and more at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
All right, those were our three big sponsors that help bring you the show for 9 weeks now, Chris. Can you believe that? We're already at the 9-week mark in our season.
No, it's crazy. Looking across some of these scores, my goodness, did Meadville just put a whipping on Warren tonight?
Yeah, that's were they in the 70s last week or were they in the 60s?
I think they were.
Week?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they were. So hopefully Brian Hagberg's been able to get us somebody from that game, do an interview with. And speaking of interviews here, I had an opportunity after my game, that Port Allegheny 20, Keystone 10, to catch up with Blaine Moses and Noah Archer, two of the heroes of that game. Blaine was just all over the place at linebacker, best linebacker we've seen all year, bar none. And came up with a big fumble recovery. Braylon Button caused a fumble on a Keystone pass at midfield with just around 5-6 minutes to play. With Port trailing, Blaine comes up with the recovery, and then Noah Archer catches the touchdown pass, and then there was an interception, and Archer scores again, and then Moses closes it out with an interception. He had an interception, a fumble recovery. He also scored a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, and a 2-point conversion. So this is Blaine Moses and Noah Archer after the Port Allegheny win over Keystone. We're here on the Generational Wealth Management post-game show with Noah Archer and Blaine Moses, two of the heroes for Port Allegheny in their 20-10 win. Noah scored a pair of fourth-quarter touchdowns following turnovers. Blaine came up with some great defensive plays all night long, tackles, and then recovered a key fumble late in the game that led to a go-ahead touchdown. First of all, guys, what's it feel like to just come back and win a game again 2 weeks in a row?
I'm real proud of our team, just the way that we were able to fight adversity. When things get tough, we got to be able to come back and fight that adversity. So,
how much of that is that you guys have just been playing football together for so long?
It's a lot of that. We got chemistry, and it's my freshman year, and even younger than that, me, Drew, and Noah, and a lot of the guys, just from 7th and 8th grade, even into Pee Wee and Pony, we've just been working all the time in the weight room, all the time on the field in the summer. Wintertime, we're in the gym, we're throwing, we're running routes, we're just working constantly around the clock, and it pays off.
What does it mean to, secure sole possession of that Region 2 title in the D9 Football League?
We knew that we could get it done. We knew that if we came here and we played to our ability, we could go get it. So we went and with that mindset to go get it.
Talk about the play Braylon Button made. You guys are down 10-8. Keystone's got a third down from about midfield. They're thinking, well, if we don't get the first down, we're going to pin them deep. And Braylon comes up and just knocks that ball loose from their quarterback, and then you fall on it, Blaine.
Yeah. We trust our defensive line, and we know that good players make good plays, and we can always count on our guys. When it gets tough, we can always throw an arm around each other, and we can always count on each other. We're a family. We just come closer and keep grinding, and just things like that, they come rolling our way, and we're grateful.
Noah, then you guys missed the first down pass, and as I said to Blaine on the post-game show, felt like Drew had been missing a little bit there in the second half. But then, he comes up and throws the touchdown pass. You talk me through what you saw there from your position.
So I saw that they didn't really have a safety over top, and they had the linebacker over top of me. So I thought that if I could just get that lane, and if Drew could see me, then to the promised land.
Last year you guys threw the ball a lot more than you have this year. But tonight, when you needed to throw the ball, you guys were able to get back into that rhythm. Just talk a little bit about, becoming a more multi-dimensional football team tonight.
Yeah, I think that with not passing the ball a whole lot, like past couple games, we haven't passed a lot. So just getting that connection kind of going again, that chemistry between quarterback and his receivers, just getting that back on board, that allows us to throw the ball when we're all in one unit.
There were a lot of expectations for this football team coming into the year, and, you've gotten step one now. But talk about, you as players being able to handle those expectations.
We just try to take it one practice at a time. We're trying to win a practice. We're trying to have a good practice, and we're just trying to win a week. We're trying, and then, party on Friday. We're just taking it week by week. We're not overlooking any teams, and we're just going to grind every week and party on Fridays.
Well, thanks, guys, for joining us on the Generational Wealth Management post-game show, and good luck next week against Otto Eldred.
Thank you so much.
So that was Blaine Moses and Noah Archer. Thank them for joining us. We're going to add Brian Hagberg to the stream here. Brian, how are you?
I'm trying to get warmed up, Chris. How about you?
Yeah, it was a chilly one out there. It's coming to the end of the season, and I know you got an interview with Kalon Simmons from Meadville. They look like a machine right now.
Oh, man, you talk about a well-rounded football team. That is the Meadville Bulldogs right now. I mean, scored in all three phases tonight. Kalon Simmons had 6 touchdowns all by himself. A punt return, 4 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown as well. Almost had a second punt return that he took to the house too in the second half. They got stopped just shy at the 1-yard line, but Meadville came out, and from start to finish, it was all Bulldogs all night long. And again, this was they even had some of their depth players scoring touchdowns in the second half with some long runs. So, this is a very, very well-rounded football team. And again, does it in all three phases. This is a defense that we talked about a few weeks ago. Held the sensational Ethan Knox to under 100 yards in a football game, and they are absolutely the real deal. Bottled up Warren's Tommy Nyquist and Ethan Senz all night tonight.
Hey, Brian, we're going to get back out to the field. We have Addison Plants. Addison, you have somebody there with you too?
Yeah, I have Aaron Smith here with me.
And Aaron Smith of the Kane Wolves came
Yes,
with a big win tonight over Smethport. They're right outside of Smethport High School right now. They've defeated the Hubbers tonight 26-12. Congratulations, guys, on the win.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
I know the season hasn't maybe gone the way you'd have liked it, wins and losses, but talk about getting a late season win like this and just sticking with the process and how that's paid off tonight.
It just feels good. It's plain and simple. We've been working at it, working every week, every day, going 100%. Especially for an old rivalry like this, it means a lot to win this game.
Go ahead.
For me, it's really important too, though, for my coaches. They haven't given up on the season. They could have very well gave up, and I'm trying to, just do my best to help out these younger guys too, get the program back on track before I graduate and get out of here and move on.
It's never easy when things maybe don't go the way you wanted them to go. But just talk about, and specifically, for those of you who are trying to be leaders on this team, keeping everybody on the same page, making people understand that the process and representing Kane football is really important.
Oh yeah, no, it's important. We go through turbulence, especially these younger guys. They'll lose hope kind of easily just because they're newer to it, don't really understand it. But me and Aaron, obviously, 10 years plus together, we obviously teach them to fight through that turbulence and hope that when they're, when we're long gone and they're up there, that they do the same that we're doing.
Talk a little bit about how tonight's game went for you guys. For people who might not have been able to watch it or listen to it or follow it, just kind of give folks out there a little bit of an idea of how it went.
Our coaches put together a great game plan this week for these guys. We had the mindset that we were going to come in here and win this game. We wanted to win this game, and we came out here and we struggled a little bit at first, but we adjusted like we had to, and we always do, and came out here and with a great game plan, like I said, on offense and defense. And we had a couple mistakes, but we came out, adjusted, fixed it, and everything from there went our way. And we just executed well. Execution was our biggest thing tonight.
I definitely think the first quarter started out a little rough, not really how we wanted to, but we were determined, and that was our mindset all week. We just want to come out here and play some football. Doesn't matter that we were down. As soon as we started getting in their heads, we just took advantage of that, drove with it.
Jared, you got anything for these guys?
I think you covered a lot. They covered everything that.
Guys, talk a little bit. You've been on the road a lot here. Last week you make the trip down to Keystone. This week you got to go over to Smethport. Do you like road trips? Are they a bonding type of thing for the team, even this late in the season, or would you rather be playing at home?
I definitely think it helps with our bonding. It kind of gives you that little bit more motivation at need, especially like you said, having the rough season that we're having. Kind of gives you that little like, okay, let's go down there, especially like their senior night and stuff tonight. It gives you that little bit more motivation, like, hey, let's go out there and show them that we're not messing around and just go, ruin their night basically.
You do get a home game next week against Bradford, and I'm thinking that's a game that you guys think you can be competitive in. How important would it be for this football program to go out winning the last two games this year?
I definitely think that it would be probably the most important thing all season. Like Aaron said earlier, getting this football program back on track, back to the Kane way. Younger guys, just showing them how it is. And we're kind of getting that system going again. So it's not like you come back next year and we have a whole different system going. There's that level of like formality. Like it's kind of organized. You know what's going on. There's nothing that's just thrown at you. Just traditional Kane football.
Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Have a safe trip back across Route 6 there.
Thank you.
Say hi to Mount Jewett there in the Sheets. I seem to spend a lot of time there in football season. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that's going to be kind of scary if they get back to the Kane way, because I'm well aware of what Kane football is like from when I played.
Yeah, Todd Silfies had something going pretty special up there, and then he stepped away for a couple years, and Jim Hillman did a decent job, and like any small school, there's always going to be some ebbs and flows, and right now, unfortunately for the Wolves, it's just one of those ebbs that are down. But man, football coach like Todd Silfies and the staff that they have up there at Kane, those guys are going to get it figured out sooner rather than later. I have no doubt there. And it just, it makes the whole district better when you have teams like that playing well. And, heck, we saw that tonight. I saw that tonight. Port Allegheny was a team that a decade ago goes to the state championship or state semifinal game where they run into Tyler Boyd and the Clareton Bears and lose. And then, they had that ebb that went down, and now the ebb and flow is back up again. And the Gators doing it tonight. And I mean, what impressed me about Port Allegheny, because I know, Jared, we didn't get really a chance to talk about that, but what really impressed me there was 2 weeks in a row, their backs against the wall. Last week, Red Bank hits the 90-yard touchdown pass, 7-0. Didn't phase them at all in the fourth quarter. They come right back, they score, take the lead, win the game. This week, they're down 10-8 with like 6 minutes to play, Keystone football, and they find a way to create that turnover at midfield. And then they miss a long pass deep that would have been a touchdown. But instead of letting that bother them, they come right back with another pass, touchdown to Noah Archer. They're in the lead. Another turnover, another touchdown. All of a sudden, it's a 10-point game. And you're looking at the final score, and you're like, well, okay, Port Allegheny handled this game okay. Fact of the matter is that Keystone was this close to pulling that upset. I don't think it would have been a major upset. I think Brian and I talked about this during the week where I thought that the styles of play were so similar that game was going to be close. But Keystone had an opportunity to win that football game. And give Port Allegheny a lot of credit. They dug deep again and found a way to win. And, you guys can talk about this more than me because I never actually played high school football. Both of you guys did. But when teams keep finding ways to win like that, the confidence level just grows, doesn't it?
Yeah. I would definitely 100% agree on that one. Like whenever I was a senior, we had well, I guess we didn't really have we had a couple win streaks, but we also kind of finished off pretty slow. But if you do get those wins, it goes into the next week, and if you keep building on that each week, our Coach Ivanko always used to us like we're climbing a ladder. You want to get to the top of the ladder, but a loss or something that's going to put you down the ladder, and that's where the confidence is. The confidence ladder is going to go up, especially with Port Allegheny. 2 weeks in a row trailing games and finding ways to win. That's just showing that you're a complete team right there. You can come back, you can win. And then they've showed early in this year they can win big games. They can win games by a lot. They can,
I can't really speak to that. We only won 14 games my 4 years in high school. So there wasn't a whole lot of building on pulling out victories when I was playing. So.
Well, sorry about that, Brian. That's still 14 more games than I ever won as a high school football player. So you guys still have more wins than I do. Brian, we were talking a little before you came on. We were talking a little bit about seating in District 9. Let's touch a little bit in District 10.
Well, before we get into that, Chris, I did get a chance to chat with Kalon Simmons.
All right, yeah, let's do that first.
Win. So let's pull that up and see what Kalon had to say.
Meadville's Kalon Simmons, a big win over Warren, 76-7 for you guys. Wrap up the Region 4 title outright for you. Again, you guys are just kind of rolling through teams right now and doing it at all three phases. You got the night started with a big punt return touchdown. What's been working so well for you guys this season?
We definitely came together way more as a team. Like our blocking and stuff, we a lot of issues last year. We had a lot of players arguing within each other, and they didn't want to block for this player or that, and it was like 50-50 teams. We finally came together as a team as a whole, and I feel like our blocking and everything as a team just came way better now, and we're starting to get into the rhythm of the Meadville Bulldogs offense.
And it certainly seems to be coming together for you guys. Take me through a little bit the end of that first half. I mean, it was 28-0, and it seemed like you might get one more score in at the end of the half, and you end up getting three in the final 30 seconds. What was going on for you guys? Obviously you got the big pass, but then the kickoff and the fumble recovery. Take me through some of that stuff and what you guys were seeing on the sideline.
From the sideline point of view, it all happened kind of fast. A lot of people didn't really expect what was happening. I'm gonna be honest. Our team had a little bit of anger. We had a little bit of chip on our shoulder because their players weren't playing kind of fair. They were trying to injure us, and you can clearly tell that. So that didn't make our team very happy. We wanted to run the score up. But I think overall that the experience of tonight and playing a region championship game just made our team so much more hype and ready to play and go harder that we just played together as a whole and brought the win in.
How much can it lift the sideline when you get one of your defensive linemen to get a touchdown like that? A fumble recovery on what looked like it was going to be just a kneel down, and he ends up going 34 yards for the touchdown.
It changed the whole perspective and point of the game. Everybody was on the sideline. We just got done with offense. We was on a little break. We put our defense out. Half of us wasn't even paying attention. Then we just see our 290-pound lineman, running back a pass or return or whatever it was, and he scores. That definitely boosted our egos and made us think if he can score, then we should be able to run it up way more.
And for you guys, obviously you wrap up the region title. You come into this season, everybody knows you guys have high expectations. What kind of confidence do you have going into the postseason, and how do you keep this momentum going?
The confidence is getting there. I'm going to be honest, we definitely have some leaks in there. A couple players that's we might not make it far, or they don't have the enthusiasm, but they also they lack the experience. Last year we was one of the only teams to go second round, and that isn't even an achievement to us. We're trying to make Final Four or state. So I think that our attitude and stuff towards football is way more aggressive because we know that no matter if it's a regular season game, preseason, or anything like that, that we have to go hard and play 100% to show that when playoffs and stuff come, that we're going to be playing way harder teams than we play in our region. So don't take any game a joke or anything like that just because the team isn't as good as you think. You still got to play 100% and do what you got to do.
All right, Meadville's Kalon Simmons, our Jim Kelly Player of the Game, powered by the Allegheny Grill of Foxburg. Congratulations and best of luck rest of the way.
Thank you, sir.
All right, yeah. I'll also say from past playing experiences too, whenever a lineman scores a touchdown, that's definitely probably the best touchdowns that you'll see in high school football.
Well, let me take you through this sequence here at the end of the first half, right? It's 28-0. Meadville gets the ball back with about 40 seconds to play in the half. And they had gotten down, looked like they were going to score, and then a penalty ends up leading to a turnover on downs. They get a stop, get the ball back. Gavin Longstreet unleashes a 67-yard bomb to Kalon Simmons right down the sideline. He takes it in, scores. So Meadville kicks off, and the ball hits at about the 25, and you could see Warren's Caden Wright was ready to field it on the bounce. And the problem is the ball didn't bounce. It died. And the kick coverage team for Meadville came flying in, recovered it. Meadville takes advantage of a penalty. Kalon Simmons runs it in from 13 yards out. So then they kick off again, and Warren returns it out to the 34. And they come out, absolutely are going to kneel on this thing and go into halftime. And they fumble the snap on the kneel down. And
they fumbled the snap on the kneel down?
The only person on the field who picked it up was Meadville defensive lineman Rurik Douglas. And he kind of looked around, realized the whistle hadn't blown, and took off, goes 34 yards for the touchdown. And I mean,
it's not your night when you fumble the kneel down snap.
It
just isn't your night. There's just no other way to play. It's just not your night.
It was definitely not.
Yeah. It's just not your night when you fumble the snap on the kneel down. I mean, come on. The whole idea behind the kneel down is to just do that. Come on.
The game had gotten really kind of plodding to that point too. I mean, they had the big first quarter, and then Meadville only scored up to that point once in the second quarter. And again, it seemed like they might get. And the funny thing was after the 67-yard pass, they had a bad snap on the extra point and couldn't recover. It goes out of bounds. And so, it's looking like instead of getting the running clock to start the second half, it was just going to be a 34-point lead instead of a 35-point lead. And then all of a sudden, boom, boom, they scored two more times, and that was it.
That's
and
good.
I'm gonna throw this up there because this is absolutely true. Everybody wins when you witness a fat guy touchdown.
Yes.
Because then, as the late great John Madden said in the replacements, I love it when a fat guy scores because then you get a fat guy dance. No, he didn't really dance Douglas much, but no, I was excited. That was, as a former defensive lineman myself, I can always appreciate when the guys go rumbling, bumbling, stumbling down the field for the big touchdown runs.
I think this says it best.
Yeah. See, we can tell Chris was not paying any attention at all to what I just said.
That needs to be on a T-shirt.
Yes.
Get that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, I was paying no attention to what you were saying. I was trying to get Will Domenico from Clearfield set up, and so I was busy doing some other stuff. I didn't have time to do it. Hey, let's go back out to the field. Andy Close got us Logan Groover of Conneaut, and Conneaut with the win over Franklin tonight, 14-10. And here's Logan Groover of the Conneaut Eagles talking about that victory.
It's been a long time coming for this football team. How good does this feel?
It feels really good.
Just take me through all the, football's such an emotional game, and the emotions that you guys are feeling right now after winning this game tonight.
I mean, it feels really good. This is my first win that I've ever partaked in, so it feels really good. I'm just glad we came out with the win.
Does it feel like you thought it would?
I don't know. I haven't thought about it yet.
You were over 100 yards on the ground tonight. How were you guys able to run the ball so effectively tonight?
Well, our line and our coaches did a good scouting on where to run the ball, how to be best way to win.
And how can you guys just build off of this? Not just this feeling, but this win and the momentum it can bring.
Well, for one thing is everybody in the school is going to see that we won. So, we're going to get players again. We're not losing a whole lot. And, we're going to remember how good it feels. And hopefully we'll win some more in the future.
All right. Well, hey, man, go enjoy it. Congrats.
So that was Logan Groover of Conneaut. We're now joined by Will Domico. Will, did I pronounce that right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, Will Domico, the quarterback for the Clearfield Bison. Clearfield tonight, 21-6 win over Central Mountain. Maybe a little closer of a score than maybe you were expecting, Will, but a win's a win, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we were going into this game. I mean, we knew they were 0-8, but the teams that they play are a lot tougher than what we play. So we still knew that it was going to be pretty much a dogfight all 4 quarters of the game. So.
Yeah, but just talk about coming away with the win. I mean, that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really good because there hasn't been a lot of games this season where we've had to play all 4 quarters. So it was a really big win for us and big 5A points for the playoffs for us as well.
No question. You got another big game next week. You're going down to Karn City. That'll be a game that we're doing here on the YDL Sports Network, D9and10sports.com. Really looking forward to that. 2 of the premier programs historically in District 9, Clearfield and Karn City. But, how important is it to be playing well as you head to the postseason?
It's really important now because last year we didn't really play a lot of good teams on our schedule. So whenever we hit the playoffs, we were kind of like, we just didn't know how to react when we got smacked in the mouth. But now that we are playing like good teams right before the playoffs and we're actually playing good against these good teams, I think it'll really help us come playoff time.
Talk a little bit about how the game went for people who weren't there or weren't able to listen. Talk a little bit about how the game went.
Well, I mean, we really struggled getting the ball moving offensively. Our only score in the first half was the pick 6, but defensively, we pretty much shut them down that whole game, especially in that first half, other than that kick return that they had. But then the second half, we just gave the ball to Brady, let Brady do all the work, like we have the past almost the whole year. He's
talk about Brady Collins a little bit. I mean, he's just come out and really came out of, not a lot of us had heard of him going into this year, but he's really come out and played well. Talk about what you see from him from your quarterback position.
I mean, I've been good friends with Brady since we were like 6 years old. So he's just one of those rare athletes that he's like, whatever he's doing, he's like the best at any sport or anything. He's just a rare athlete, and he's a hardworking kid. He just goes and just does what he needs to do.
So you've known Brady since he's 6. What's one thing he wouldn't want anybody to know about? Not nothing bad, but like just what's one thing that as a good friend you could embarrass him with maybe a little bit?
I did beat him 10-1 the first time we ever wrestled in an actual wrestling match. Just want to say that right now.
Will he acknowledge that, or will it be like, Will's making that up?
He'll probably go back to last time we wrestled where he beat me 4-1, but I got him in the first matchup.
No, good stuff, Will. Good stuff. Hey, talk a little bit about your defense. It's been there all year. It's been one of the strengths of this football team. Talk a little bit about the defense.
I mean, it really starts with our defensive line and Isaac Samsel. He's just incredible force there. I mean, he's pretty much in almost every tackle and every play. And I think we have one of the best secondaries, or at least cornerback duo, in like District 9 between me and Jacob Samsel. Jacob Samsel is a really good corner. I mean, he hasn't let up a touchdown all year. He barely gives up big plays. And then I think our linebackers, Brady and Carter Chamberlain, they just hit as hard as they can. No one can really get by them.
Well, hey, congratulations on the win over Central Mountain. Really looking forward to next week's game. That's a game that I circled with excitement way back before the season even started. And, then both of you guys got off to a little bit of a slow start. And I was like, I don't know. But both teams playing pretty well. I'm looking forward to that, Will. I'm looking forward to calling one of your games. Haven't had an opportunity to do that yet. So really looking forward to that next week. And congratulations on the win this week. And I'll see you next week.
All right. Thank you. See ya.
Will Domico, the quarterback for the Clearfield Bison, who defeated Central Mountain 21-7. Jared, let's step aside. Thank some of our sponsors here. We'll get back. We'll get into that seating discussion here in a moment.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Whether retirement is just around the corner or years away, John Bongiovanni, Lucas Slazak, and Adam Jack of Generational Wealth Management in Erie and Bradford are here for you. John, a Forbes-recognized best-in-state wealth advisor, Lucas and Adam provide customized investment advisory solutions and retirement planning services. Generational Wealth Management offers world-class investment services and internationally recognized insurance products from Northwestern Mutual, an industry leader. The Generational Wealth Management team provides a high level of expertise and service to their professional and business clients. Contact the Erie office at 814-651-0838 or the Bradford office at 814-368-4065 or check them out online at gwm.nm.com.
Oh shoot, let's play this one.
What's the recipe for surprising the kids, treating yourself, and ditching dish duty? You're looking at it. Order your Pizza Hut faves like original pan, original stuffed crust, and more at pizzahut.com. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
All right, I actually got that on there. I completely forgot to hit that, and then as I was clicking it, it was dragging up, but yeah, looks like Chris disappeared for a minute, so I guess while he is gone, I will do a quick rundown of all our scores for everyone. In District 9, yesterday's action, we had Punxsutawney 21, Brookville 13. In today's District 9 action, we have Mount Union 43, Kerwinsville 34, DuBois 42, Montauk 0, Kane 26, Methport 12, Port Allegheny 20, Keystone 10, Karn City 42, Bradford 14, Union AC Valley 20, Ridgeway 13.
Is that game final?
Okay, now I just hit. Oh wait, no, it's not final.
26-19. See, there was a situation that happened there. There was the lights went out on the one side of the field at I think the game was at Ridgeway. I don't think it was at Johnsonburg, but the lights went out on the one side of the field, and that led to a major delay, which is why they're still playing at 10:52 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
Glad I wasn't covering that game tonight.
Yeah, you'd still be there, but Red Bank Valley 34, Brockway 28, Cameron County 28, Otto Elder 22 in overtime, Central Clarion County 48, St. Mary's 27, Clearfield 21, Central Mountain 6, Coudersport 55, Bucktail 6. That's still in the fourth quarter, or is that probably final at this point?
I got to imagine that game's over.
I would assume it's final, just based off of the mercy rule running clock type of deal, but you never know with stadium issues. But in District 10, we have Cambridge Springs 32, Mercer 22, Cathedral Prep 44, Erie 0, Maplewood 22, Cochranton 18, Reynolds 42, Lakeview 14, Eisenhower 48, Iroquois 6, Mercyhurst Prep 44, Union City 0, Seneca 34, Northwestern 26, Farrell 41, Slippery Rock 0, Sharon 47, Greenville 6, Grove City 35, Wilmington 6, Sharpsville 28, Hickory 21, Conneaut 14, Franklin 10, Meadville 76, Warren 7, Oil City 30, Titusville 14, Fort LaBeouf 28, Corey 6, Fairview 31, Northeast 30, Conneaut, Ohio 13, Harbor Creek 6, McDowell 48, Butler 24.
I think we lost Jared.
Jared ran away. I don't know what happened to Jared. Jared was there. He got so excited he's gone. Tomorrow, Elk County Catholic at Sheffield. That should be a snoozer. Sagertown at Kennedy Catholic and General McLean at Girard.
Jared, what happened? You disappeared on it.
Oh, it just disconnected and said it's not your fault. I'm like, oh, okay, it's not my fault.
now we can't even hear Jared. He's like talking in a submarine.
Sound like Charlie Brown's teacher. Wah, 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 wah.
Wah, 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 wah. He was a kicker. I wonder if his holder always pulled the ball away from him back in the day.
Is this better?
There you go.
All right, cool. When did I cut out? When did I cut out last? What did I?
It was impeccable timing, Jared. You gave the last score of the night and then you went away.
Oh, that was a perfect mic drop then, right?
Yeah,
Well, and then Chris took the handoff, told us who's playing tomorrow, and then he came back. So it was,
All right, perfect.
I didn't fumble the handoff. That's the important thing here.
No.
I got the handoff, and I sure to heck didn't fumble the snap on the kneel down. I apologize, Warren, but when you fumble the snap on the kneel down, people are going to talk
tough.
about it a little bit. It just is what it is.
It's one of those embarrassing football moments, like running in the back of the end zone.
We should probably put that on like the, I don't want to embarrass the Warren kids too much, but that should be like our lead into all of our games now.
Yeah. Big intro.
I'm just teasing. I love Mark Morelli in the Warren program. I'm just teasing him a little bit, but talk a little bit about seeding. Start over in District 10 in Class A, Brian. What do you do? How do you seed Class A when it comes to Reynolds versus Eisenhower?
I mean, I know there are some out there that think Reynolds' strength of schedule is far and away better than Eisenhower's, and I just don't know that is the case. There's no question that Sharpsville is the toughest opponent either team played this season. There's no question about that. But when you compare their schedules, there's, I believe, 3 or 4 uncommon opponents. And the 3 teams that Reynolds played that Eisenhower did not are Mercer, Kennedy Catholic, and Maplewood. It's 4 teams. Sorry, Mercer, Kennedy Catholic, Maplewood, and Sharpsville.
Now Mercer's. Whoa, what is that? Mercer's having a pretty good season. They're what they do tonight. I didn't catch what they did.
They actually lost.
Oh my goodness, they lost to Cambridge Springs. Okay. I take that back.
So what you're doing right now is you have to compare those 4 teams, Sharpsville, Mercer, Maplewood, and Kennedy Catholic, right, to the 4 teams that Eisenhower played that Reynolds did not, which would be
Northwestern,
the 3 2A schools, Northwestern, Mercyhurst Prep, and Seneca, and then Iroquois.
Now Iroquois not any good. We know that.
Well, so you look at this. Iroquois
Kennedy Catholic's not any good.
Is a wash, right?
Yeah.
So then you're comparing the 3, and does Sharpsville, Mercer, and Maplewood clearly outweigh Seneca, Northwestern, and Mercyhurst Prep?
Well, I mean, Northwestern has a win over Oil City. Let's not ignore that. We can't ignore that, right?
Right.
At the end of the day, that win cannot be ignored. There may be reasons why, but it can't be ignored. And then, so I think at the end of the day, it then becomes a situation where those schedules are fairly even. And to me, if one team is undefeated and the other team lost, and you can talk all you want about, well, they played Sharpsville. They also lost by multiple touchdowns to Sharpsville, right?
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
I think it was 28-14 or.
It was. Hold on a second. I just had it, and it was.
No, it was more than that. It was like 38-22 or something to that effect.
They lost 41-27 to Sharpsville.
I'll see. There we go.
Okay, so yeah, maybe Sharpsville's the best team they played, but they also lost by multiple touchdowns to them.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas you could argue that the best team, I would say it's it's either Northwestern or Mercyhurst Prep.
I think at this point you have to go Mercyhurst Prep, one, because they've got a head-to-head win over Northwestern.
Yeah.
Northwestern lost tonight to Seneca.
And both of those, now I guess my point here is that, so throw out the Sharpsville win, or throw out the Sharpsville loss.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by doing that, then throw out the Mercyhurst Prep win for Eisenhower, because then we're saying those are the best teams that they played that weren't a head-to-head matchup, right?
Right.
So then that leaves Eisenhower having played
Seneca
Mercyhurst Prep in Northwestern, and that leaves Maplewood and who for
Mercer.
And Mercer. At that point, it really to me is just a toss up, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it really is. Again,
I
I
mean,
think there's
does it really make does the rest of that bracket, like, is 3 that much different than 4 in that bracket, Brian?
in 1A.
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, you're looking at it right now. Your 3-4 is going to be Mercer Lakeview. And I mean, they played last week and it was a 2-point win for Mercer. So really, there's 2 points difference between the two of them.
I guess my point there then is, does it really matter who number 1 is versus number 2?
I don't think so. Not particularly, and because they're going to meet, assuming they both get to the championship game, I think, which is, barring something unforeseen, I think is a fairly safe assumption.
And
they're going to meet on a neutral field.
Yeah, they'll meet on a neutral field, and that's what that is. And I think that Reynolds gets extra credit from certain folks in District 10 because they're from Mercer County and Eisenhower's from Warren County.
I think that's absolutely fair.
And I'm not sure that that's a fair way of doing it, but that is, there's this thought process, and frankly, they had a chance 2 years ago to prove that thought process was wrong, and Eisenhower didn't do that.
Well, they've had a chance the last 2 years. They've met Reynolds in the last 2 years in the District 10 playoffs.
Yeah,
twice
so
2 years ago in the championship and last year in the semifinals.
So I mean, based on history and what we believe is a fairly equal schedule, then yeah, I think it's fair enough to say that Reynolds probably deserves the number 1 seed over Eisenhower, just because until Eisenhower shows that they can play with Reynolds, then they're not there yet. Just my thought on that right now.
Fair assessment, and I mean, based on everything I've seen, this is probably defensively Eisenhower's best chance to kind of slow down that Reynolds rushing attack. 2 years ago it was Cole Toy that ran all over him. Obviously, last year was Jalen Wagner. But the way the Knights are built defensively this year probably gives them their best chance to go strength on strength against Reynolds and potentially have it be even. And again, something else to think about too. A year ago, early in that game, Eisenhower got down inside the Reynolds 10. I believe it was 3 times and came away with just one score out of those 3 trips inside the 10. And that's just when you're playing a battle tested, playoff tested team like Reynolds, those are the kind of mistakes you just can't make.
No question. And flipping script, because they would meet once their champions come out in District 9 Class 1A, as Jared and I talked about a little earlier. I think the top 2 seeds have clarified themselves. Port Allegheny, barring an upset to Otto Eldred next week, is going to be the number 1, and Red Bank, even if they lose, which I do believe they're going to lose to Central Clarion next week, I don't think that loss is enough to shoot them below anybody else in District 9 Class A. I think they are the number 2 seed in A. What goes on after that is, I don't know. Like, is Brockway 3? Is Keystone 3? Is Union AC 3? I don't think anybody can argue that Elk's 3 at this point, right? Otto's obviously not 3. Kerwinsville, I don't even think Kerwinsville makes the playoffs at this point in time. Coudersport's not 3. So who would you lean towards, Jared, between Brockway, Union AC, and Keystone?
Well, that's a tough one, because now it's kind of coming down. So if I'm right, is Keystone, Brockway, and Union all 5-4 right now? Do I have that correct? Because I've been kind of messing around with this.
Yeah, if Union AC holds on, because that game wasn't final yet, they would be 5-4.
Okay.
And
so based how I'm looking at this, they have a 5-4 Punxsy team next week. If Union can win that game, I could see them being the 3 seed, going 6-4, just based off some of the strength of schedule. I mean, Keystone has a 2-7 Montauk team coming up.
and Brockway plays Cameron County. Now,
Yeah.
Brockway beat Keystone by 1 in a game in which Cal Nellis doesn't play. And remember, this is why we have a committee. Union AC defeats Brockway by 6. My goodness. I mean, that is about as tough of a figure as you can get. Now, I don't necessarily see Union AC beating Punxsy next week. So at that point, do you just kind of look at the schedules? Like if they don't win next week, and then you say, okay, Brockway beats Cameron and Keystone beats Montauk. Brockway's 3 based on beating based on the fact that they beat Keystone, and then Keystone's 4 and Union AC's 5 at that point.
Yeah, that's
I mean, would anybody be able to argue? I mean, that would be a hard one to argue, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that one.
And then after that, 6, 7, 8. I don't know. Like, I don't even know how you start there. I guess Elk is probably 6, but is Cowdy 6 because Cowdy beat Elk, but then Cowdy lost to again. There are.
This is probably the tightest like playoff race I can even remember in 1A, you know, and I thought like the years that I played were close for the playoffs. Like this is just, I mean, even you even said it a little bit earlier with Cameron County. I mean, if Cameron County wins that, they're tied at 5-5 with the tiebreaker over Brockway, hypothetically. I mean, that could be a possible 8 seed right there.
Well, yeah, I mean that changes everything at that point. I mean,
but then if you're the committee, like, do you drop a 5-5 Brockway team out of that beat some of the, you know, like that's the committee's going to have a tough decision. Like we're struggling right now to have a decision or made with what we think, and we still have a whole week of football left for some teams.
I mean, because we're looking at you know, like Otto Eldred's loss tonight could come back and haunt them because like all of a sudden now they've lost, especially again, a lot of this Cameron County could throw that committee into fits next week with a win over Brockway.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't happen, but if it does, oh my goodness. Because then you're looking at Brockway, Cameron County, Coudersport, and Elk with 4 teams for 3 seeds. Well, I guess that'd be 4 for 4 at that point. My bad. Otto's in there. So you'd have Otto, Elk, County, Cameron, and Brockway. So 5 for 4 is basically what you're looking at that point.
So if you're looking at that, if you're the committee, you know, again, assuming that scenario played out, who's your first team out?
It's almost who's my first team in as opposed to my first. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I mean, at that point, you know, Brockway would have lost to Cameron. Would that put Brockway out? Their other losses are to DuBois, Port Allegheny. They've lost to DuBois, Port Allegheny, Union AC, and Red Bank. So they're probably in. I think they're safe.
Yeah, that's two losses against quality teams. That's fair.
Yeah, I think they're in a loss to a 5A school. I think they're or 4A school. Yeah. I think they're safe.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Union in a way. I mean, 3 of their losses, you got a loss to Central Clarion, Red Bank Valley, Port Allegheny, and
I think one of the teams that has to be from that league, that Region 3 where they're playing each other twice, for crying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think anybody can argue that the Region 3 schedule isn't as good as the Region 2 schedule, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's saying that Otto or Oswego or Cameron's schedule is as good as the schedule that other people had played. You know, Otto is sitting at 6-3, and they would win next week, and they would be what? I mean, they're 7-3. Can't leave them out in that case, right? So now you're talking about Cameron versus Coudersport, really, in determining who's left out. And did they play each other this year?
Let's find out. multitasking right now. I'm trying to figure this all out.
They did, and Coudersport won 22-0. So I think that probably answers your question, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how, that's my thought just quickly without having done a whole lot of research on this. But hey, guys, looks like the show should be coming to an end here. Want to thank all the people that jumped on board with us. Thanks, Jared, for hosting again tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
Even though I didn't make you do as much work tonight. So.
Oh, it's all right.
And you tried to bail on us there for a minute, too.
Yeah, you even tried to bail on us.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, thanks to all our sponsors, Generational Wealth Management, Warren County Visitors Bureau, and Pizza Hut for sponsoring the show for Week 9 already. And we'll be back ready for Week 10. And Christina, when by chance the committee's even going to announce when these playoffs are going to... I need to get a kick out of that.
I don't even know when they're meeting. The problem here is they're going to have to meet next Saturday. And I mean, are they going to meet? I'm going to have to start asking that. You know what? I never even thought about that, Jared, until you just brought that up. Without a power form, they're going to have to start meeting next week, this coming week, and start to discuss this, right?
Yeah, because if you're a coach, I want to
you gotta start discussing this stuff like Monday or Tuesday this week and be like, okay, if this happens, this is what we're gonna do. If this happens, this is what we're gonna do, and so forth. So because if you're right as a coach, you kind of need to know who you by at the latest by Sunday of next week, you kind of need to know who you're gonna play.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're you're 2 seed like Red Bank or whatever, and you got am I going to be playing one of these 6 teams? Who?
Yeah, I mean, preparation has to start at some point. So yeah, they can't wait till Monday to be like, well, we're not meeting till Monday, and then we'll put out the brackets on Monday. But I mean, we've seen strange things. So,
well, you guys are talking about that seeding conundrum in District 9 1A. The District 10 committee is going to have a similar issue when it comes to figuring out who to seed where in 3A over in District 10.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna bolt here, guys. I got some stuff I got to get done. But another fantastic night of football in District 9 and District 10.
Yep. Yes,
indeed. It was.
All right, Chris. Look, that was real quick of him dipping out of here.
He said he was going to bolt, Jared. He wasn't lying.
Yeah. He lived up to his word there. But I guess we'll kind of wrap up the show again like we always do. I'll play some nice music for everyone who's still watching. Let's mix it up. Let's go. Acoustic cinematic.
I gotta put out there too before we get to going on the scores. Congratulations! We were talking about Eisenhower a bit ago. They clinched the Region 2 title outright tonight with their win over Iroquois. So congratulations go out to the Knights. Called quite a number of their games throughout the season. Yeah. So just one of those ones that we couldn't get to this evening. But again, congratulations to Jim Penley and his team up there. Still the only undefeated team in District 10 right now.
All right. Yeah. Shout out to Eisenhower. I guess I'll shout out all of our teams that won tonight, and I'm going to read that list off to you. We'll start off with Thursday's game. On Thursday in District 9, we had Punxsutawney 21, Brookville 13. Today's District 9 action, we had Mount Union 43, Kernsville 34, DuBois 42, Montauk 0, Kane 26, Smethport 12, Port Allegheny 20, Keystone 10, Carson City 42, Bradford 14. Still in the fourth quarter. Well, let me refresh this. I'll see if it's still in the fourth quarter. Union AC Valley 26, Ridgeway 19, Red Bank Valley 34, Brockway 28, Cameron County 28, Otto 22, final in overtime. Central Clarion County 48, St. Mary's 27, Clearfield 21, Central Mountain 6. Still in the fourth quarter. Coudersport 55, Bucktail 6. In District 10, we have Cambridge Springs 32, Mercer 22, Cathedral Prep 44, Erie 0, Maplewood 22, Cochranton 18, Reynolds 42, Lakeview 14, Eisenhower 48, Iroquois 6, Mercier's Prep 44, Union City 0, Seneca 34, Northwestern 26, Farrell 41, Slippery Rock 0, Sharon 47, Greenville 6, Grove City 35, Wilmington 6, Sharpsville 28, Hickory 21, Conneaut 14, Franklin 10, Meadville 76, Warren 7, Oil City 30, Titusville 14, Fort LaBeouf 28, Corey 6, Fairview 31, Northeast 30, Conneaut, Ohio 13, Harbor Creek 6, McDowell 48, Butler 24. In tomorrow's Saturday nights or Saturday afternoon and probably night football action. We got Elk County Catholic at Sheffield in District 9, and in District 10 we have Sagertown at Kennedy Catholic, which you can watch live on Kennedy Catholic YouTube, and General McLean at Girard, which you can watch live at DJ Experience. Is that right?
Yeah, the DJ Experience, probably doing that game maybe through the West County Journal sports stream there. Those guys, West County Journal, Corey Journal sports stream is all part of what the DJ Experience does.
All right, and I guess I forgot to mention, you can listen live on River 98.9 for the Elk County at Sheffield game, which I'm gonna put $100 on that it's probably in the afternoon. What do you think?
I'm going to bet the house, the family, the dog, the cat, and the goldfish on that game being an afternoon.
Well, there you go. There's lots of money on the line. So if there's for some reason a night game looks like we're all going broke,
if Sheffield gets the cars to circle up and put the lights on the field tomorrow night, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah, I don't want us to go broke. But hey, thank you again to all of our fans, our sponsors, for watching the Generational Wealth Management High School Football Extra Point Show with your host, JB Graphics. You can get this cool T-shirt. It has my Fu Manchu handlebar mustache on it. If you want to wrap that, I'm going to give a quick plug out to my shop, my merchandise. You can go on the JB Graphics page. If you go to the link in the bio, you can find JB merch in the bio. So buy yourself a mustache T-shirt. Movember's coming up, so let's get after it. All right. Thanks for hopping on, Brian, and for everyone watching. Thank you for sticking with us, and hopefully by the next episode we might have an idea on what the seating is going to be like. But if not, I guess we're out of luck. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in week 10.